Well, hey folks, how y'all doing? And welcome back to the Land of Grills. That's right, folks, we're in the Land of Grills. And sometimes in the Land of Grill, we get a new grill. And that's what we got sitting right here. We got one of the Z-Grill pellet grills, folks. And I'm really excited about this because today we're gonna do an unboxing, assembly, and overview of this pellet grill. And I've heard so much about these grills and I can't wait to dig into it. I tell you what, let's get her out of the box and start putting her together. All right, folks, before we get started here, let's look and see what they sent us here. So they sent us the 702E, and this is, right now it's going for $549. This is probably mid-range of the Z-Grills. And full disclosure, folks, Z-Grills did reach out to me and say, hey, can we send you a pellet grill? And I am very specific about when someone reaches out, and it's not that often that they do, because if they watch my channel, they see that I give very, very unbiased reviews, and I tell people what I think, and I don't hold back. So, you know, when someone offers me that, it's on my conditions that I get to run the show. So you're going to see what you see today is we're going to do what I normally do with a new grill: unbox, assemble, overview. And then the following videos, you're going to see a break-in cook, a burn-in with a first cook on it. And then you're going to see some comparisons. I'm going to compare these against some of the pellet grills that I have in the Land of Grills. So I tell you what, now let's open her up. Okay, so you open the box, and this is and this is it. I'm thinking there's got to be more than this, but this is what they say: simple installations. They also have a YouTube video for putting it together, and I did watch it, and it boy, I'll tell you what, it looks like it should take like 5 minutes. So we'll get digging in. All right, getting her out of the box, you can see they even sent along a pair of Z-Grills gloves, not for high heat, it says, but to help during assembly. They got a zip pack, a blister pack, I should say, and everything's labeled in there. Got a screwdriver, wrench in there. And, okay, that's pretty standard. There's the stainless steel top. There's a little bit of weight to that. And then over on this side, you do have the owner's manual. You've got your Z-Grills 3-year limited warranty, and then initial fire instructions. If you're wondering what the weight is, you can see right there the gross weight's 135, net weight's 112 pounds. All right, got everything out of the box, folks. They do a very good job of packing these. I was kind of surprised. It comes standard with a grill cover, and that's actually a pretty nice cover. You can see there's the actual unit that makes the burn. You can see the burn pot there. That's stainless steel. You're saying, oh, that's a small pellet hopper, but there is this whole thing right there to put on top of it that's got a stainless steel cover on it too. And then the flame deflector that goes over the burn pot. I like that because those things, because it gets hot, those things have a tendency to warp, and you can see how they reinforce that to keep it from warping. So nice job. You've got some 6-inch wheels. Legs are pretty heavy duty. Everything is pretty heavy duty. I'm liking it and liking it a lot. So I'll tell you what, let's start putting it together. All right, folks, got 3 of the legs on. Before you know it, I forgot to show you, but they are pre-threaded, which makes it nice, and they have them labeled left and right. Just got to remember the ones with the hole in it where the axle goes in, goes on the drip can side, and these ones with the plastic feet on it, they go on the pellet hopper side. All right, so in the instructions, it says to lay the grill down and put the legs on like that. And what I did is I took the 2 styrofoam ends that are shaped on the inside like the barrel and put those down and was able to stand the barrel up. And that just makes installation a lot faster. Now I want to show you this top here. And this is really just good thinking. You know, they've got the, everything's pre-drilled there, and you got, you know, all you gotta do. And then they actually have a lip right here. So when you put the shelf in, you don't have to worry about lining it up. Just slide it in like that, and then put it in like that. Now, here's a tip when putting anything together, especially like this where there's a lot of multiple screws. You don't tighten anything up until you get everything done. So once I get the shelf on and get the wheels in, and then I'll go back and tighten everything up. All right, wheels are on super simple. There's a washer on the back side, washer on the front side with then a lock washer, and then they have these acorn nuts, and I actually use the 2 wrenches that they provided. Super simple. Now, I'm not going to tighten everything up. I'm going to flip this up and get it on for it. This is where having a buddy to help you would be nice. But get it up on a flat level surface and then tighten up all the screws. And that, you're saying why? That'll help eliminate any weeble wobble. All right, so before we put the hopper in, the pellet hopper with the auger and the burn pot in it, you got what's called the RTD probe. And then what that does is it gives feedback to the to the controller. It lets you know what the temp is. And those are two self-tappers that were already in there, and I struggled longer getting those out and putting them back in than I did putting the legs on. But I got one of these little handy-dandy cordless Nex L1s that Tom Horseman at YouTube, you can watch the review of that, and it worked just fine. So that's important. You get that in there, and you got to make sure you got a pretty decent space between that and the outside wall. Otherwise, that'll give some inaccurate readings. All right, we're going to start working on the pellet hopper. I just wanted to point out a couple things here. I did take that off. That's like a guard. When you see how slow these augers move in these pellet grills, you'll understand. But if you want yours on, put it on. But I want to, you're looking at that rod in the middle there and you're wondering what that's for. Is not a lot of pellet grills have that. I like to see that in there. And that's kind of a back burn preventer. So it doesn't allow a whole lot of pellets to build up in that auger. It keeps the pellets from really having a lot in there, so it doesn't end up burning back through the auger there. That's in the fire pot. So that's a nice job by Z-Grills. All right, got the pellet hopper on. That's just four screws and 4 nuts that have self-lockers built into them. I put a rag down there just in case you drop something so it don't get into the auger. To get it out, you just got to tip things upside down and maybe shake it a little bit. But putting a rag in there helps. All right, to install the hopper assembly with the burn pot in the grill, you've got 4 bolts here that got to be removed, and I left that one on just for you. There's a gasket that's already there, that stays right there. And then that whole thing, and you can see you're wondering, that's the other half of your RTD probe. So we're gonna put it in there loosely, and then connect that down there to that, and then you can see the 4 holes that it goes in, and it should go in pretty easily. All right, everything lines up really nice. I'm very, very impressed. So before I put my last one in, I lined it up. So I want to put that in with a socket. So that's 11 millimeter. We'll put that last one in, get everything nice and snug. All right, and if you're wondering where the RTD probe went, there's a little channel down there that it fits in, so it's easily accessible if you ever have to replace it. All right, hopper's on, easy peasy. 4 bolts. If you're ever wondering how a pellet grill works, is you got that auger there that moves slowly, and it takes the pellets that way. It goes through that tube, and then in here, you're gonna see you've got some stuff there. The end of the tube is there, that's where the pellets come out. That little thing on the bottom, that's your hot rod. That's what glows hot, and that's on a timer, and that's what gets it going. And then all those holes you see, which are throughout the burn pot, that blows air. So there's actually a blower, a small fan, that blows air that goes through this middle channel into the stainless steel fire pot. And you got heat there, and you got a blower, and you got a fuel source, which is the auger bringing the pellets from here. And then it lights it, and then you've got the RTD control, which tells that little gizmo down there what to do. And I'm not sure what type of, if that's a PID control or if it's just analog type that as a time cycle. I'm not really sure. We got to do a little bit more research as we get into this, but I'll tell you what, installation so far has been easy peasy. So let's finish it up. All right, stack goes on with just 2 bolts, 2 washers, and 2 nuts. And you don't want to over tighten it. You've got that gasket in there, so don't forget to put the gasket in there. But super simple. Everything's lining up. I can't say, I think I've said that half a dozen times already. Things are lining up very nicely on the assembly. Now, I tell you what, let's put the hood on. Instructions had the hood going on before this, but I decided to wait till last because it kind of gets in the way. So that's one of the last things to put on here is the hood and a couple other handles, and we'll be good to go. All right, so there's a total of 4 screws, and they're in one of those self-tappers in there. So I've got them on there just loosely, and then you just kind of want to eyeball up the lid and make sure everything is nice and centered and sitting nicely in there. And I've determined that I've got it where I want, and now I'm going to tighten them down. Let's put the rest of it together. The rest of it is something you would take off for cleaning. And what I did first, before I put anything else, I went with my shop vac, got all that loose little styrofoam out of there. Obviously, we don't want to be burning that. That's just smelly and smoky and not good. So the heat deflector, and this is the heat deflector, and you see this right here, there's another one on the other side, and that fits just like that, okay? Now let's put in the grease tray. All right, so that's your grease tray, and after we do the burn-in, I'm gonna cover this in aluminum foil. It just makes cleanup a lot easier. And what that does, that sits in there on an angle, and one lip sits in here, and the other one sits in your grease trough, and the grease goes there at an angle down, and then it goes to the hole there, and that's where your bucket goes. And that's a great thing about pellet grills that are designed this way. They're designed to get the grease out of the pellet grill so you don't have fires. And I'll tell you what, let's put it in there. To show you. It goes in like this, and it's super simple. It goes in just like that. Just put it up like that. And just make sure it fits in there, and you got a gap in there, and now the grill grates, and we're done. All right, enamel coated grill grates. You got a top one that's your warming rack, but you can cook up there too. So if you're wondering what the dimensions are, this thing deep is 19.5, and then the width, deep, and then the width or length would be 26, and your warming rack is about 7.5 or 7. So, maybe that's why they call this the 700 series, 700 square inches. But you could easily, if you're wondering, you could get a full rack of ribs easily on top here, and then 3 down here. So you could do 4 racks of ribs in here, no problem. You could probably squeeze a couple more in there. If you had a rib rack or 2, you could probably get, if you took the warming rack out, you could probably maybe get 6 or maybe even a little bit more. So I'll tell you what, we're going to get it cleaned up, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, folks, before we finish off, we want to just confirm that things are running here, especially the auger on that. And it says plug it in, which I already did. And then turn the Z-Grill on. It's in the off position right now. So turn it on. And it says to put it into the smoke position. And that's the smoke position. And then it says to... says here, let's read the instructions here. Turn your Z-Grill to the smoke position, please check the following. Confirm the auger is turning, and it says wait 1 to 2 minutes. So we'll wait 1 to 2 minutes, and then we'll bring you back and see if it's turning. All right, so about 30 seconds later, and all of a sudden you can see, maybe it was turning, just couldn't. That's why I said these augers turn really slow. All right, next it says you check that the fan is, I can hear the fan blowing, and I can feel some air. You don't want to put your hand in there, because that hot rod, you gotta check and see if that's getting hotter, and let's see if we can't get that. Oh yeah, it's just getting hot. And hold it on there. 237, yeah. So that's getting hot, so that works. So everything appears to be working, and then I think the instructions say that we can go ahead and hold your fingers in the fire pot. Okay, yeah, the hot rod will heat up. Okay. You should see a temperature displayed in the LED display. If you see something different displayed, the error code. No, I'm seeing the outside temperature. It's about 80 out here today. All right, and then turn the temperature dial to the shutdown cycle. The fan will run for 10 minutes. So we'll let that happen, and we'll come back after that. All right, while we wait for the fan to turn off, I want to show you this cool accessory that they have at Z-Grills. Check them out, zgrills.com, I guess. But this is a cast iron plate, and this is how it goes. And they made it with a lip, so it fits in perfectly there. And you take your fire pot off, and I bet you that sucker's going to get good and hot. And we'll be trying that out. But it's got 2 sides to it, and you can see you've got one side like that, and you put it right above your fire pot. And I can't wait. You could do smash burgers on there. You could do bacon and eggs. You could probably do pancakes. This is nice and deep here. And then if you wanted to sear a steak. And this might fit on other pellet grills too. So the dimensions of it is 19.5 long, and the width is, see for yourself, about 11 inches. So that's a pretty cool accessory they've got from Z-Grills there. I think it's about $60 on Z-Grills website. And like I said, measure the inside of your pellet grill. If you want a cast iron that fits perfectly in there, I think this will work. All right, oh man, there it is, all cleaned up. I'll tell you, it's a shiny. I like shiny grills. If you watch my channel, Tom Horseman on YouTube, you know that. Folks, my thoughts are that this is a solid built pellet grill. Probably one, and I was just telling my wife this, that this thing went together easier than a lot of other grills I've ever put together. Really was no nonsense when it came to putting it together. I like the design. I like the simplicity of it. They're not trying to reinvent the pellet grill here. They're taking what works and they're using it. And I think that's a solid design. The height of it, if you're looking back and say, that thing's pretty big. 33 inches to the top of the grilling area. I just measured that because I was just thinking that. But you know what? We're going to do a burn-in yet, and we got to check out that controller and see how accurate that thing is. Tom Horseman at YouTube, we're going to be doing that in the next couple cooks, folks. This thing, like I said, if you're looking for that entry level, or say you have a really, really cheap pellet grill and you want to upgrade, but you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, these things are right around the $500 range. zgrills.com. I'll leave the link down below, folks. Thanks for playing along. Thumbs up, and as always, appreciate you watching. Thank you.